Hello everyone and welcome back to Mossy Pine Ranch at Elmcreek. We have reached episode number 32 and are now in May. Starting off by filling the Mack truck up with silage this morning. There we go, it's filling up quite nicely. That's because the grass which we mowed from field number 10 behind me, we got into our fermenting silo after we collected it all up with our newer and bigger forage wagon, and yeah, we got it into the silo. It fermented overnight, but that has sort of been an elapsed month now because we've moved into the month of May. And yeah, that silage, or at least 83,000 litres worth or over, I think it got up to 95,000 litres, is now ready. So we're going to take that to the BGA to start processing into biogas. Last time we also got field number 10 cultivated and planted with sunflowers. And that sunflower is going to be, once harvested, converted into sunflower oil to bring some great profits to the ranch. Today we've got to move on to the next field, the field next to it, which is a combination of 4, 5, 6 and 7. It's one bigger field that we merged together early on in the ranch days. We've got to get the grass mown out of that, cultivate it again, and plant our next crop, which is going to be sorghum. So yeah, after we've dropped this load at the BGA, we can get on to that. Just going past the bakery where our bread is being made. Just counting out the back there. Very nice. I look forward to selling that when it's all ready and the price is good. Right at the BGA. Bit of a cloudy day today. We're starting a bit earlier as well at 7 because the spring months it's nice to start a little bit earlier. Let's turn around, back up and get all this silage in the hopper. Right, that's all in. So we can kick off the BGA production. I do sort of pause and start these production as and when they're needed, because otherwise they seem to cost you money. So yeah, we will activate silage production. Got 83,000 litres we just brought. And yeah, we activate that. It costs us $606 for the day, and it's going to do 24 cycles to make biogas. And then in the fermenting silo, yeah, we've still got 419,000 litres of grass to process and another 18,000 litres of silage that's good to go. But yeah, we'll wait for the sort of silage to hit 83,000 litres so we can do another truckload. Let's head on back to the ranch and we can get on with mowing our grass field to then cultivate it, to then plant our sorghum. Do enjoy driving this truck over the Elmcreek landscape. I do sort of cap the cruise control at 40 though. Any faster seems a little bit out of control. We have returned, so we can just park up the Mack truck. Probably worth keeping it attached to the trailer, as yeah, we're not going to be using the tanker anytime soon, I hope. The cover on, and we can park you up. Fantastic. So next it's hopping into the case, grabbing the mowers, and yeah, we'll be moving on to mowing the field behind me, 4, 5, 6 and 7. There we go, got the mowers. And yeah, one thing I noticed with our sunflowers, it's now moved into sort of the first or second growth stage. There's a few weeds that we're going to have to deal with, so we'll have to get our new sprayer. We let our previous sprayer go, and yeah, we're going to have to herbicide it, and it's also due fertilizer to get it up to secondary level. It got primary level from the grass being mown. Mowing grass leaves a nice primary level of fertilization on the fields, which is really nice. Let's get these mowers unfolded, and we'll probably start at this straight edge here. And yeah, we'll be getting to mowing more grass, which is fantastic. So let's switch on and start off by lowering our front run. And then lower in our back one. Just keeps it a little bit neater. Yet we're nicely mowing into a swath. And I'm going to do the headland. Maybe 2. We will see how we get on. And then it's going to be on to forage wagoning with our new bigger Stroutman. And I'm going to have to go and get some silage additive that we've left over at the dealership because we ran out of that. But leave this with me and I'll see you in a short while. And there we go. So we have done that, and I am going to just tidy up a few little spots that I missed. Always quite difficult to get things perfect, but yep, all the moons need to align, all the planets need to align for a nice perfect run, not missing any bits. There's a lot to deal with, getting the good angles and timing the raising and the lowing, which can be difficult when you're trying to avoid the swaths. You don't want to be running the mower through the swaths that you've already created, because that would make probably a bit of a mess. But there we are, finish that so we can fold up to get the mower dropped off. Now I do also need to mow our other 2 fields, field 2 and 3 to the right of me, nearest our animals, and also field number 1 / the meadow. Those are our 2 permanent grass fields. I'm not going to be mowing them yet, just because we are in May and we need to be getting our sorghum in the ground, so that is our priority. So next it's going to be on to the forage wagoning, and as mentioned, I'm going to need to go and get the silage filler, which will help with the quantity of silage that we generate. Silage additive, that is, not silage filler. I've just got to grab the trailer so we can get the silage additive back to the ranch. Right, here we are. Well, let's get the silage additive loaded and whip back to the ranch. There we go, nicely loaded over the wheels to bear the weight. Back at the ranch yard, and we need to find somewhere just to drop off the silage additive. There we go, next to our huts seems to make the most sense. Let's just ditch the trailer for now and we can get forage wagoning. Right, that's the trailer back. Our sheep look to be doing really well and they're well fed, and our horses are looking pretty happy as well. Right, if we nip through here we can grab our forage wagon, and it's a little bit too big for this shed, so once we're done with it we're going to have to park it in the bigger vehicle shelter. Just nip past the silage additive to get that filled up. There we go. Very quick. Right, over to where we started mowing, and let's switch on, and we can lower the pickup to start forage wagon collecting. Now, one thing I didn't notice about this forage wagon is the floor of it seems to move backwards, and I guess that's to draw the grass sort of in and backwards as the pickup is at the front. It would just sort of all gather at the front and wouldn't fill any further. So yeah, that's quite a nice feature to see there. Yep, we've got to get this all collected, deposited in the fermenting silo, and then that will be added to the large amount we've got already to make silage to then take to the BGA. It'll be different when we mow the field to the right of us, field 2 and 3. We will open mow that so we can ted it to make hay. We'll windrow it and then we'll bale it for our animals. So yeah, the field to the right is going to our animals and hay, but all the rest is going to be yummy grass for yummy silage, and that's going to be making some big bucks. You can see the money trickling in already, 215,000 from our BGA profits. But that's enough said. Let's get on with sorting out all this grass swath, and we'll see you when we're done. Usual scrap hunt at the end, and yeah, we just got around 4,500 litres from that last little patch that we needed to grab. I think I counted 4 full trailer loads, so should see the grass stocks go up considerably, which is nice. Let's get this last little bit in and take a look. So we're up to 603,000 litres. We got down to around 400,000. Yeah, so 4 full loads of 50,000 litres in this forage wagon. Yeah, 200,000 litres of grass approximately. So that is really, really good. And we only used 54% of our silage additive, so that was pretty handy. Let's get this parked up here. I'm not going to bother washing it because we'll need it again when we want to forage wagon collect from the field number 1, grass meadow. Okay, we can park up the case for now. And next job, now that we've forage wagoned all of that grass into the silo, is on to cultivating that field. Now, we would normally be jumping in the lizard to cultivate. We are going to be jumping in the lizard, but for a different reason. We are probably going to sell this. In fact, not probably. We are going to sell it. I've been thinking, and I do really like this tractor, but there is one limitation. and that is that it doesn't have a PTO on the back. And I think if we were to want to run something that requires a PTO, like the forage wagon, or any of our seed drills or planters of the future, we're going to need it. So it's a shame, but I think this tractor has had its day. It served us well. It planted, I think, 2 or 3 different crops. Definitely did 2 crops in the big field 10, and yeah, I think that's probably how many it did. I think it did 2 seasons worth of crops, so that's pretty good in my book. And just to finish off its career, it's completely crushed a Elmcreek citizen's car, but never mind. Let's take it to the dealership and see what we can trade it in for. Right, turning into the dealership. I am going to miss this tractor. It's got its nice little quirks, like the temperature light coming on and off again, just like it did now. And yeah, it's got all these lovely details in the cab, like the radio, the toolbox, and the water tank. But yeah, sadly we will be selling it. So it looks like we can sell it for 44,000, which is pretty good. But what are we going to buy next? Well, I have been having a little look around, and as always it's a mod, because they seem to be the best price, and I found this IMT. Now, I did a little bit of research, and this seems to be a Serbian tractor, and I think it stands for Industry of Machinery and Tractors. And having a little look and researching online, they do sell second-hand IMT machinery in America. So yeah, we're in Elmcreek, so seems like we could find this on the second-hand market if we were in that area, which is pretty good. Now, it's got a really nice adage that it comes at base 360 horsepower, but if we upgrade the engine for a modest 4,000, we can get it up to 500 horsepower, which is brilliant. We really do need that sort of pulling power on the ranch now we're getting bigger equipment. So I think we're going to go with not the tracks, but the Michelins and twin wheels, which yeah is 10,000. The design, I haven't really had too much of a look at the designs, but we got with, out fenders, and standard. We'll go with standard. I like that. The exhaust, we can go long, new long, short, or long again. I think we'll go new long. I like it closer to the cab. And license plate, of course, we need Mossy Pine. There we go. And what I like about this is it sort of matches close but not too close the Case IH colours. So that's $110,000, big outlay, but it's going to be worth it in my opinion. It's been paid for, and here it is, our new tractor, the IMT. Looks quite similar to Rostelmash, and it also looks quite eerily close to Massey Ferguson. I wonder if there's any sort of relation between those companies. But yeah, here it is. Let's get it fired up. Nice. And it's the 5500 Deluxe. Yeah, 5500 Deluxe. Let's take a look inside. Okay, very basic looking. And I'd almost say that that steering wheel looks a little bit small for the tractor. But never mind. It's a bit slower than the previous one. But that's okay. Yeah, that steering wheel does look a little bit too small in my opinion. But never mind. We mainly look at it from outside here. And it has no beacons, but it has got the usual sort of lights, which is good. And best thing about it is it's got a PTO in there, buried somewhere. Yep, so that is pretty good. Oh yeah, we can open and close the window as well, which is really nice. But yeah, that's good. It's going to serve the ranch well. We'll give it a good bash with the cultivating and planting. So let's head back. The IMT is back at the ranch. Let's grab our cultivator and we'll get straight to cultivating that field up. But yeah, I've parked the truck in the way. That's not a very good start. Right, we've got our cultivator. It's not quite as colour coordinated as the previous one, but nonetheless, that's all right. So let's get it unfolded, and we can start by doing our cultivating. I think I'm going to go this way this time. Get all the paddles out, and then so that's done, we can lower away and cultivate this field in. Right, first little drawback found is that to run the cultivator we need a drawbar, as it's too high. The natural hitch is too high, and for some reason it's doing this really weird sideways skirt. I don't know why it does that, it's very annoying. Yeah, all these little niches and quirks, it's all a bit peculiar. I don't know why. I think that's something with this Brastel Mash cultivator, if you ask me, because it was happening before with the lizard. So yeah, I'm just going to have to do my best on this one, unfortunately. But now we've got more horsepower, I think we can get a bigger cultivator, one that's not going to do Tokyo Drift on us. What is it doing? I don't know. Yeah, leave me to sort this out, and I will try and make it a bit better. Right, I think I might have worked it out. If we lower the cultivator and then we lower the drawbar all the way, it seems to behave much better. So yeah, although we've got a more horsepower tractor, we've now got some rather funky niche with it. And yeah, that's the funny thing about Farming Simulator. You can pick and choose all these mods, but you've got to pick the ones that suit you, and sometimes they come with these little funninesses. Let's raise that up. I think now we should have that sorted. So I'm going to just do the headland again, tidy up, and then we'll get this all done and dusted. See you soon. Phew, last bit done. So let's get this folded up. And oh yeah, that was a little bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie. Did get into the swing of it by the end, but yeah, certainly was interesting trying to work out that quirk with the level of the cultivator in respect of the ground. It seems like if it was a bit higher, it seemed to do Tokyo Drift on me. So yeah, and it wouldn't really work properly off the tractor's hitch, so we had to use and employ the drawbar. So yeah, interesting quirks. Sometimes you really do need to properly field test tractors to make sure they work with the equipment you've got, and sort of overcome any niches. But yeah, that's all fun and games, that's all part of it. And yeah, just thinking ahead, I don't think we're going to need a cultivator in the future, because the plan, as I mentioned last time, is to get a seed drill that can direct drill, and also to get a planter which can direct plant, and both of which can drill and sort of fertilise at the same time. So at some point this cultivator will be made redundant. Let's get it parked up for now. Okay, that's dropped off. And I am going to just drop the drawbar off because I want to see how the planter gets on its own without the drawbar. There we go, we're hitched up. And let's head over to the field. The hitch looks a little high. So I'm going to preempt that and say we need the drawbar. Drawbar back. We'll make sure it's lowered. And then what that means is we can then independently raise and lower the planter as we need to, which is pretty handy. So we've got sunflowers selected. We actually want to select sorghum. That's the crop that we are going to be planting. And I think before I start planting, there's a couple of wee stones that I missed last time, so we'll unfold the planter and then I'll get onto those. There's one of them. Popping in the old deer. Stone bucket on. Right, and there's the troubling stones. The perfectionist in me wants to get these out. There we go. So it's fair to say that the John Deere had quirks of its own. We needed to use the drawbar when having the spreader on because of the height of the hitch and where the PTO needed to go. Get these last few little bits of stone dropped off there and get back to planting. Right, sorghum selected, so let's switch it on and lower away, and I'm hopeful this is going to work nicely. Seems to be playing nicely, so that is good, and I gotta say that it's running like a dream. Now, one thing I've noticed is when I have the drawbar attached, the working speed is just not realistic. It was running away at 18 mile an hour when I was doing the cultivating, so I naturally set the cruise speed to 11, as that just seemed to be more realistic a speed, and seems like similarly we need to do that for the planter. I'm guessing the drawbar might be interfering there, and it thinks that you know, we haven't got any equipment attached, but we do. So yeah, we need to make sure we've got the right working speed. Yet again, another little quirk of this tractor and the drawbar, but nonetheless it's better having more horsepower for the equipment we need in the future. And we will just keep upgrading as we get more money, more funds. We'll get bigger, better, until we reach our limit. That's the first part of the headland done, so we can raise that up, turn around and carry on without destroying too much of the neighbour's field. Doesn't matter too much because we are going to own that field one day, we are. Yep, leave this with me and I'll see you when we're done. Okay, I think that is us done. So we switch off, raise up and fold away. Now that is pretty impressive. Again, the working speed was way too high, so I had to remind myself to keep setting the cruise speed. 8. Just to keep things sensible. You can't go too fast with big machinery because it just ends up making a disaster or a mess. But yeah, no, I'm actually really happy with the IMT tractor. I think it's a beast. It pulls really, really well, and it also is very manoeuvrable and responds very quickly. It's just I've got to get a bit used to it because I was obviously working the lizard tractor before, and that was a bit slower, a bit more clunky. So yeah, it's all just sort of getting used to it really. Let's drop the planter and the drawbar off there, and then we can get this IMT parked up. What a beast it is. I think I'm going to put it where the lizard used to live, just back here. There she rests. Okay, so if we look at the map, we've got sorghum in our field 4, 5, 6 and 7 there, and it's in the first stage of growth. Got our 2 grass fields ready to harvest, which we'll have to tackle next time. As the next job on our list, no, not in this tractor. The next job on our list is going to be tackling these weeds, and we also need to give field number 10 its secondary level of fertilizer. Yeah, so it's got weeds, but yeah, we need to get it up to double level fertilization as well. So let's hop in the case, and we need to go over to the store and pick up a new sprayer because we let our previous Kuhn one go. Right, here we are. Let's see what they've got. Okay, so the most cost-effective sprayer I've been able to find is this Kverland, and it comes with a front tank as well. This one is more expensive, does the same width, and yeah, seems sensible to go for this one. So yeah, it's 26 base price, but we can up it to 28 meters for an extra 14.5, so we can get it for 41,000. So we'll buy that, and then we will also buy this tank for a bit of extra capacity. So yeah, we've actually got the same width as this bigger towed one for a lesser price, which is really good. Let's get the rear hitched on, and then we can pick up the tank as well. Colours seem to match the case rather nicely, so that is a bonus. And Nordic and I did use this sprayer initially on Calmlands, so yeah, nice to be bringing it back. Right, back at the ranch, and I remembered we had a little bit of herbicide over here, so I'm going to fill that up now. Okay, that's the herbicide, and now just to fuel up the tractor. Probably want to make sure we've got 100%, so let's top it up from the sheds. Ah, that is filling up. That is nice to know, because previously it didn't like filling from the sheds. Before I forget, we should fit care wheels to the tractor so we don't damage the crop. Sorted. So let's head over to the other side of the field so we can make a start. There we go. So let's just try and gauge the width if we can. I need to be a bit careful about this shed being in the way. Look at that. Perfect. So we can fire away and start spraying. Now, because we haven't got precision farming, there's no option for see and spray, so we can't get the efficiency from there. But it seems like, yeah, we're sort of tootling through the herbicide level, so that's not too bad. But plan is, I'm going to herbicide, get all the get all the weeds dealt with, and then it's going to be on to fertilizing with a sprayer as well. So I'm going to try and do both in one. Herbiciding will then grab fertilizer, and then we can fertilize the field up to its secondary level. So I'm going to see to both those jobs, and I'll see you when we're done. folding it up, and that is the herbicide sprayed and also the fertilizer. I think I was a bit more efficient on the fertilizer spraying because could kind of make out the texture change of where we had been and where we hadn't been. But the herbiciding was very difficult because it's hard to spot the weeds in between the stalks of the sunflower. But yeah, we can get this emptied. So we've got a little bit of herbicide and a little bit of fertilizer left. But yeah, very happy with the sprayer. It's done a good job. I'm going to park up over here, but just before we do detach, I'm going to see that I've got everything. So it looks like we've covered all the weeds, but have we fertilized everything? Ah, okay, we've missed a slight patch up here and a couple of little bits there. But I'm happy with that. I think based on it being very visually difficult, taking that as a win. So yeah, nice one. I think this is probably the best little slot for our nice new sprayer to go. And yes, a pretty nifty little sprayer. We of course might have to upgrade to a self-propelled one later on as the ranch grows, but for now this is perfect. And yeah, I didn't notice any patches that we missed or it missed. Our previous sprayer, the Kuhn Deltis I think it was, that did certainly miss spots, and it had a bit of a niche about not spraying full coverage when it was going in one particular direction, which yeah, was very odd. So yeah, that had to go unfortunately, but it was a very nice sprayer. But now we've got the Converland, and that's going to serve us very well. So that is it for today. It's been a very, very busy one. We started at 7 and it's nearly 7 o'clock again, so the full 12-hour game day. But we have mown, foraged and siloed all of the grass from field 4, 5, 6, 7. We cultivated it, which was a little bit funky, and to cultivate it we used our fantastic new IMT tractor. Been playing so long I'm losing my words. But yeah, our new tractor is pretty formidable, so that is very good. Just going to park the case off there. Yep, the IMT tractor is pretty formidable, and yet did the cultivating nice and easy and the planting of our sorghum as well. So that's in there. And then lastly, we just herbicided, getting rid of those dirty weeds, and fertilised our lovely sunflower. So that is looking nice and healthy. We're probably going to have to herbicide and fertilise the sorghum in the next session as well. Next session we'll also be moving on to mowing our next 2 fields, and the field 2 and 3 nearest our animals will be needing to make some hay, so that'll be the focus. Just checking in on our silage, and we got 74,000 litres, so give it another hour or two, we'll have 83,000 litres to take to the BGA yet again. And yeah, I'll probably do that off screen with the Mack truck. Looking at the funds today, we've made 74k from our biogas income and 44,000 from selling our old Lizard tractor, and then we spent 155,000 on our new IMT tractor and the Converland sprayer and tank. So not bad, but yep, that is it. Hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like, and if you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. Hope to see you again next time, and until then, catch you later. Bye bye.